Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Mid-Valley Spartans basketball. Joining us is the head coach, Mike Abda. Well, Mike, let's talk about this upcoming season. Everybody excited in northeastern and central Pennsylvania about basketball. I'm sure it's no different there at Mid-Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an exciting time of the year, and we're just looking forward to another season, more challenges, and everybody's has a perfect record right now, and working hard across the state, and just getting ready to to start the grind.
Well, let's talk about your team this year. We'll start out at the guard position for you guys. Tell us about the guards coming back there at Mid-Valley.
We have one starter back, Jason Kenny, who really had a nice year for us last year. He about 12.5 points a game. He was a first-team All-Star in our league, and played well throughout district and state playoffs. So we're excited to have him back. He should be one of the top scorers in the area. We have kind of a bunch of young guys that are, I think, very talented, just a little inexperienced right now. Brad Kalinowski, Noah Tanner, and then we have Zach Nemitz and Mo Blackwell also at the guard position, who played a lot of meaningful minutes for us last year. Mo had a buzzer beater in the state playoff game against Lewisburg. And Zach Nemitz, he hit a bunch of big threes for us last year too. And Mo's kind of a combo player where he'll play guard and forward for us, but depending on the matchups.
And Mike, let's move down inside some of those forwards and your center this year. Talk about if you have any height for the Spartans this season.
Yeah, we have some big guys. We're working with them every day. Danny Wood, super athletic. He's about 6'3", but really does a nice job of altering some shots in the lane. He runs the floor extremely well. He was a tight end receiver on the football team, and great athleticism. And he's always running the floor for us in transition. Roman Crisafoli, he's a junior. He basically just played JV last year, and then he had an injury in the summer. So he's just working back into, getting into shape, basketball-wise, and just shaking off the rust. But he's looked good, and he's going to help us. And we have Mark Pavelski. He's kind of a combo guy, too. He'll play a little bit of the 3 and 4. He's about 6'2". And Jeff Panetti, he's our tallest guy, actually. He's a 6'5" senior, a really hard worker, and we're hoping he can give us some minutes as well.
How about the mix so far after the first couple of weeks? How are the guys gelling on the court? Getting some of the state playoff experience helps. Graduate some guys, that hurts. But tell us about how you feel everybody's, being as a cohesive group.
I think they're doing a good job. Graduating 7 seniors is tough. And, 4 of them were starters, and 2 of them played minutes. Josh Tanner was injured last season. Had he not been, he would have played a lot too. So losing 7 guys is tough, but this group they're very close. They remind me a lot of last year's team. They're very close. They're all friends. They're looking out for each other, and they've been friends all the way through since they played in 6th grade together. And even though they don't have a ton of varsity experience, they're all used to playing together. Kenny kind of was up with last year as a starter, but the rest of them kind of played together, moving up through the ranks. And one of the things about last year's practices that I loved was when you had our starting 5 versus our second group in practice. If we would scrimmage or do competitive drills, it was very, very competitive, and it got physical. And that second group that pushed the starters, from last year's team, now that's our group now. That's the group that we're probably going to come out and start with this year. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, they're working hard together, and they really like each other. It's, kind of like a family, and what all coaches preach, that we're in this together, and they're doing a good job.
How about the league overall, Mike? Tell us about, what you're hearing so far early about some of the teams you'll be competing with in the Lackawanna League.
As open as it's ever been, I think. I think last couple of years, when you look at our division, Lackawanna 3, it's been top heavy, but it's kind of wide open. I definitely think we're going to be in the mix. We have, like I said, I'm really confident in our team. Holy Cross should be good. They lost kind of Cliff and Jones, and that was a lot of their offense. But I think all those other guys that kind of Al mixed and matched, they're all back, so they have some experience. Dunmore, I think, has the most starters back and most guys in the rotation back from last year, and they were good last year. So, they'll be very good. Riverside has two starters back. Tinsel was a first-team guy along with Kenny. They were the only juniors on the All-Star team last year. Old Forge, I saw them a little bit in the off-season. They're scrappy, typical Old Forge, and they're going to get after it. And I think Carbondale and Lakeland have enough talent where they could cause some upsets and mix things up as well. So I think it's open. I like where we're playing right now and the way we're playing, but once we get into the league in January, every game is going to be a grind. Nothing's going to be handed to you as usual.
Well, it should be a nice long preseason. The whole month of December. January kicks off the league in the Lackawanna Division III. That's where Mid-Valley will be playing, as you heard Coach Mike Abda. Mike, we look forward to seeing you on the court this year. Best of luck.
Thanks, John. As always, great talking to you.
Mid-Valley Spartans boys basketball. Mike Abda here on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.